be a slow poke. Ain't no spills, this is real cocoa. No chill pill, don't no chill live here, bro. From politics to kill bill is hip hop. Can't feel. Check us out and get your tip pop.
Hey yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the show. Real Spill here on Redline Radio LLC. My name is Kevin Hanley. Got the homie across from me, Phil Rucker.
Yeah.
Tim is going to be running the boards.
Hey.
And we got a great show lined up for you guys tonight. Two guests coming up at 8:45. We have one of the dopest hip-hop content creators on TikTok. He goes by the name of Mike Source. His name is Michael Source. He'll be joining us at 8:45, and then at 9:30, a special treat from all the way on the other side of the planet. Matthew Ruys, singer, songwriter, MC, producer, record label owner, all that kind of stuff. He'll be joining us at 9:30. So we'll talk to Matthew at 9:30. Mike Source coming up at 8:45. Got a good show lined up for you tonight. So there was a concert that went down yesterday. I'm hearing. Did I?
They not like us. They not like us.
Yeah,
they not like us.
Something happened. That some kind of concert went down.
They not like us. They not like us.
I was like, okay, damn. Like I'm seeing it all over social media. Like, oh, okay, all right, you got a concert. I mean, but now look, Kendrick brought out the heavy hitters. He brought out the heavy artillery last night. Everybody was at that joint.
You thought the Bay was gonna let you disrespect Pac, nigga?
I mean, he brought. I mean, Dre was there, Bron was there, DeMar DeRozan was there.
I see that, people.
He brought out the heavy artillery last night. So, Aubrey, what you gonna do, bro? What you gonna do?
Marguan Delilah. That's what he gonna do.
What?
And look, and J. Cole just want to sound like, man, I ain't even in this. Cole, like, this ain't me. This ain't me. So, I mean, I don't know. I saw a few snippets from the concert. Guess it was all right. Tyler, the Creator, was out there. I saw that little piece. He had Tyler, the Creator, out there. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, he brought the heavy hitters last night. He was not playing. He brought the heavy hitters. Fella's not impressed.
Thought the Bay was gonna let you disrespect Pac,
I'm
nigga?
just like, oh, okay. I'm just kind of like, all right. Like, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. Look,
You mean you're not dick riding like everybody else?
You know, look, we talked about Kendrick Lamar. You know, I think Kendrick Lamar he's a dope MC to me. I think so, but something about his music just don't really.
Go ahead and say you're not dick riding like everybody else.
I'm just like, all right, so he had a concert. That's literally my, and I'm not, again, no disrespect. That's literally my thought process. Okay, Kendrick had a concert. Okay, like, why are we making such a big deal about this concert? The pop out. Why are we making such a big deal about it?
Because everybody has this animosity towards Drake that I don't understand what the problem is. I really don't. Can somebody please explain to me what the problem is with Drake? I don't get it. I don't understand it.
From
Why
what?
it's gotta be animosity?
Because have you seen the comment? Yeah, Drake, you ain't shit. You ain't gonna come back from this. This is the end of Drake's career. Drake ain't nothing but a Jew poser. I'm like,
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Jewish Canadian stuff about
I'm like,
Drake lately.
what?
I've seen a lot of that stuff lately. I've seen, Drake wasn't black until he
got with Wayne and da-da-da-da-da. I literally had. Did you see? I posted this morning. I literally posted this morning because I thought it was funny, and I don't care. Yeah, I got some fire from it. I got some heat from it because I put Pac's name in it. I was like, what? When did Pac become a thug?
Yeah, well,
Was Pac not a poser? I'm sorry.
No, that's
Did you not go to performing arts school?
he did in Baltimore, I believe he did.
Your mama and your father were revolutionaries.
Yeah,
What that got to do with you being a thug?
Yeah, his mama was a Panther. That's for sure.
A Panther and a thug is not that don't
Yeah.
equate. That don't add up to me.
Yeah, so
we gonna pick and choose.
I mean,
We gonna pick and choose. I'm sorry. When was Dre ever a thug? Dre was never hood.
he was with
Said fuck the police.
Yeah, but that
No,
before that,
before that he was
world class wrecking.
You saw the little shiny suit.
Yeah.
Come on now, Easy put us on to that.
Yeah, he was world. It was world,
Easy put us on to that.
world class wrecking crew before that.
So, and I'm sorry, Pop. Wasn't you Humpty dancing?
You got started.
Wasn't you Humpty dancing before you was a thug?
Yep.
So we gonna pick and choose when it's okay to call somebody a poser and when it's not. And then these fools had the nerve to jump on me talking about, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. But
they lost that as soon as they said that.
But you telling, but no, and here was their excuse. This was their excuse. Well, Pac's mama was a revolution. She was a Panther. I was like, what does being a what? My uncle was a Panther. My uncle was a real Black Panther. Like I have pictures of him legitimately dressed in all black. What that got to do with him being a thug? Because last time I checked, the Panthers was about saving the neighborhood and protecting the neighborhood. The last time I checked, in the 90s, what blood or what Crip was protecting the neighborhood in the 90s?
Yeah, that's true.
They was tearing stuff down. That's how they started. That's how they started. But in the 90s, nah, you was too busy selling crack to your own mama to make $1. So what are we talking about here?
That's just
what are we talking? What are we talking about here? Is it okay? Is it okay for Ross? You can't tell me Ross ain't a perpetrator. Ross took somebody's whole ass name and whole ass persona,
Officer Ricky,
and made it his rap career. You ain't never sold a brick in your life.
Nope.
But it's okay because he's Black.
Officer Ricky.
People can't have aliases.
Not when you a CO, bro.
Not when you a CO.
So
and man, get that man back his name. That ain't even that's his actual government. And get that man back his name.
So it's okay for the Black people, but you don't like Drake. Just keep it real. You don't like Drake because he's a little white boy from the Jew that came into the industry and blew up and sold millions of records. That's why you don't like him. That's why you don't like him. That's why you want him gone. I want somebody to tell me the truth. Tell me the truth about why you don't like Drake.
You can't handle the truth.
You want to tell me it's because he doesn't write his own raps? Fine.
That's my issue with him. That's my biggest issue.
You want to tell me it's because of that? That's perfectly fine. Those are the rules of hip hop. You need to write your own rhymes. Cool. Yep. I can get that. I get jiggy with that. I understand that. But for you to tell me he's a perpetrator when who you know besides there's
a lot of these dudes out here.
A lot of these dudes are perpetrators. What are you talking about?
The only one that, at least I never listened to his music, but the only one that I've seen many people vouch for and say he was really about that was King Von. That's the only one that I've seen that people was like, yeah, he was really about that. Like when it comes, like at least when it comes to
50
shit. Yeah, 50. Yeah, I guess
50. Although somebody who was that? Ross is talking stuff about 50 now. Ross said 50 ain't get shot 9 times. He only got shot 3.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know, but that's what Ross said.
I guess.
So what are we doing? Why are we doing? Now, granted, me and my brother got into it, this afternoon because he told me that. He told me that Drake's last album was supposed to be like some sort of street album, like he was supposed to be from the hood or something.
No, Drake,
no. I didn't listen to it. I have not.
It was not that, but it was called For All the Dogs.
I'm assuming he meant his homies, right?
I couldn't say, but it was definitely not for the dogs.
So I don't. So it wasn't that the album. You listened to the album, to me?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not, but it's not.
It's not his first 2-3 albums. You know what I'm saying?
No,
absolutely. I'm not even gonna lie. I stopped listening to Drake after Scorpion. Like I didn't even listen to Certified Lover Boy. I was just like, okay.
Certified Lover Boy, I liked, and For All the Dogs, definitely didn't even reach that.
Didn't even reach that.
Certified Pedophile.
Certified Lover Boy? That was the real name of the album.
Yeah, it was called. It's called Certified Lover Boy.
That's the reason why that's the lyric in Kendrick's song.
I've never purchased a Drake album in my life, and I don't plan to.
So and look, I don't blame you.
Have you listened to Drake's albums? Because now I got a homework for you for Drake's album.
I'm about to say his first. I love you know how I get down with his first like 3 albums. His first 3 albums fire.
I don't know if I'm gonna be. I don't think
Kev's not gonna like it. Kev's not gonna like that type of stuff. Nah, he ain't gonna get down with that. That's
I'm good.
Early Drake was actually really decent. Like,
so what are we talking about? And then I don't like it because everybody Come on, man. Everybody loved early Drake. Everybody was, well, besides Kid. We good?
No, yeah, no,
he's
not on yet.
So you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden now, because Kendrick Lamar says it's okay to hate Drake and everybody wants to jump on the bed. Nah, B, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. Now, again, if you are a real hip hop aficionado and you tell me you don't like Drake because he doesn't write his own lyrics and you think he's a pop star, I will totally agree with you for that. But for y'all to just jump on this stuff just because Kendrick Lamar, he's beefing with Kendrick Lamar, and now all of a sudden we want to culture vulture and we want to pretend like we're protecting the culture. Y'all don't give a damn about hip hop culture. Nine times out of 10, y'all don't give a damn about hip hop culture. Matter of fact, name another conscious rapper that you actually listen to besides Kendrick Lamar. Do you listen to Talib Kweli? Do you listen to Common?
They was all on Mos Def.
Do you listen to Mos Def?
Mos Def is definitely hip hop. His name is Mos Def.
Do you listen to Tyler the Creator? Do you listen to any of that? No, y'all don't. Y'all was rocking in the club with Young Money when Drake, Nicki, and Wayne was all at the height of their career. You're a bunch of posers, all of y'all. A bunch of fucking posers. Excuse me if I'm angry about it, because it irks my nerves. Oh my God, I think I went too far today, y'all. I went too far today.
How far did you go?
So we were going back and forth, and this little white girl, she had the nerve to jump on here and tell me, like, you ain't black. You ain't a part of the culture. You ain't black. If you like Drake, you ain't
a white
black.
girl said this to you?
White girl, you ain't black. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that's black about you and Drake is y'all like BBC. And I said, really?
Wait, like BBC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what she told me. That's what she told me.
Tim is asking you to confirm.
Oh, you want me to confirm too? I'm like, no, Tim.
Sad. Yeah, see, that's out of pocket.
No, see. No, I took it out of pocket. Mm-hmm. I took it out of pocket because I told her.
She's out of pocket.
I was like, baby, please don't come over here with that, because the only thing that you have to talk about black culture is the fact that you take BBC.
Yeah,
and that's it.
I'll say this. Yeah, a lot of white ladies think that qualifies them somehow to speak on black issues. Is like, all right, well, we'll come back to that. All right, so
he just left.
Oh, well, he was in and he left.
Now he left. Can we get him back? Hello.
Let me see. Hold on.
All right, I'm gonna defend the people that like Kendrick that also likes Drake, as in me.
Okay, you know what? We can have a conversation about that. That's perfectly fine.
I am a fan of both. And I heavily listened to both. And it was crazy because even in the height of everything, when Not Like Us came out, yeah, I definitely listened to Not Like Us a lot, but I'm still going back listening to Drake songs.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I was like, what? We all knew he was Jewish when he came out.
I don't really care about none of that. I kind of like how Kev, I want to hear your music.
Yeah.
I don't care about, I listen to R. Kelly. I don't care about you doing what you do. I mean, I do. I hope you don't do those things. But I'm a fan of your music.
You can't tell me Drake hasn't made hot music. Those first 3 albums were fire. And you can't tell me y'all wasn't bopping in the club and in your cars and singing along, whatever little songs he had. And now all of a sudden, because he's half white, he can't do this. I don't understand that.
Yeah, so my bad. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I'll never understand the whole, listen. Yeah, we know hip hop is black culture, but white people have made significant contributions to hip hop culture. Okay, so we'll come back to that conversation. All right, let's go to a different one. I'm geeked about this next guest, man. This is the homie. This is my man. He is one of the dopest hip hop content creators on TikTok. If you don't know him, you need to get familiar. He goes by the name of Mike Source. He was kind enough to jump in and join us tonight, man. And we welcome to the show. Source, man, what's good, homie?
What up, though?
What's happening?
How y'all feeling?
We good, man. My man, are you out the yard? Are you out the backyard?
Yeah, I'm outside, man. My family kicked me out. You know,
With the
it
light on,
bees like that sometimes, bro.
with the light on, the bugs gonna eat you up, man. With the light on,
No, we good. We good.
yeah. All right. So, number one, again, thank you, man, for joining us, man. I've been rocking with Source, man, for a minute on TikTok. And oh yeah, in addition to everything in addition to everything I said, he's also a bleed green Philadelphia Eagles fan,
God.
like myself.
Really?
You know what it is?
Really?
Bird Gang. You already know what it is.
Gang, bird gang.
No.
You already know what it is.
Cut everybody's microphone off now.
All right, man. So let's just get right into it, man. Because I know, like I said, a lot of people follow you on TikTok, man. Your content is growing and growing and growing. I'm so happy to see that. But let's just go back, man. Tell me what was your earliest, what's your earliest hip hop memory?
Oh, dang. What's my earliest hip hop memory?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Planet Rock. Probably just hearing Planet Rock in passing. It has to be in passing because, you know, I'll give you the short version. We didn't have any secular music in our house, so it was all gospel. So I would have had to have heard that at somebody else's house or just in the street as a kid.
Now, see, I kind of heard now. I remember going to the skating ring. You know, we would go to this camp with the church, right? The local church would take the underprivileged kids to the skating rink, and they would play Planet Rock at the skating rink. That's when I first heard Planet Rock. So yeah, so okay, Source, real quick. My host is born in
1988.
So they don't. Yeah, Planet Rock is.
Now I know of Planet Rock, but to see, I was What year did that come out?
Yeah, 82.
You'd see.
Yeah, 82, something like that. Yeah,
I respect it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You can't. I mean, you can't help when you're born. So
I mean,
not your look. At least you can say you were born in one of the greatest years of hip hop. So
facts. All right, hey, so I gotta ask you, man. Everybody talking about it. What do you think about the concert last night?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't see it.
You know what? I saw snippets. I didn't see the whole thing. I was telling Phil, man, I really was like, why are we so? I mean, he had. Now look, he did bring out the heavy artillery, but I'm like, why are we so? It was a concert. Why are we so? What's so special about this concert? What did I miss? Like,
I don't know. I saw clips. Well, I didn't even see clips really. I know that he did Not Like Us 5 times. I saw Dre, and I saw, all the West Coast people come out at the same time. So I saw some moments, but I got to watch it from the beginning because I was doing a live show when it started, and I was like, I'm not going to jump in the middle. I want to watch it from the beginning. So I know it's on Prime, so I'm gonna watch it over the weekend.
Okay. So what is your, because we were talking about this, what is your opinion on Drake? Right? Because me, I'm like, I mean, I never bought his albums, and I probably won't ever buy a Drake album. But I mean, my biggest thing with Drake is that he don't write his own rhymes. But what about you? What do you think about Drake? When you think about Drake, what do you think?
I don't think a lot. I got no problem with Drake personally. Drake doesn't bother me, but I also don't look for Drake music.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think I probably listened to, like, on purpose, not for research or anything, just on purpose. I probably listened to 3 Drake albums. 3, because it's really not what I'm looking for. He had the bops. I'm not mad at him.
Right.
He did whatever he did with Meek. I'm not mad at that. Even going back and forth with Push. He's just not my cup of tea, but I get it. I get why people would like him, generally speaking. And I'm not a person that says he's not hip hop, because I know that he started out rhyming, because I know the people he used to be around, like, personally, and the people that used to do beats for him early on before he got into the sing-songy style, and then that turned into what it turned into.
See, now my thing about Drake, I've always said, to me, my personal opinion, Drake is a pop artist that can rap. That's how, when I look at Drake and I think that's what I think, a pop artist that can rap. I don't know if that necessarily makes you hip hop, but I think he's a pop artist that can rap. That's just you
don't think Drake is hip hop?
I don't think, when I think Drake hip hop doesn't come to mind to me. No. When I think of Drake, I think of a pop artist. I think of pop music. I think of top 40 radio. That to me, that doesn't. Hip hop is not the first thing on my mind when I think of Drake. It just isn't. It's just me.
Okay.
You know.
Understood.
All right. So look, you are born and raised in the great city of Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
What was the hip hop scene like for you in Richmond when you were growing up, and what did everybody listen to? Because I'm growing, I grew up in Canton, Ohio. We got stuff late all the time. What was it like in Richmond growing up for you?
Well, like I mentioned, we had the gospel rule, so I was late to get to hip hop like on a regular basis. So unfortunately, it wasn't until probably 12, 13 when I actually got hip hop on a regular basis, whatever I wanted to listen to, and that was still in passing because it had to be when nobody was around. But we had some hip hop acts in the early to mid '80s. Of course, Skills was the one that was in the '90s that kind of kicked it off on a national level. But we definitely had hip hop artists. But we surely got stuff late, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
It went New York to Jersey to Philly, and then you get it when you get it if you're anywhere else.
When did you guys, or when did people in Virginia, I should say, or I guess when did you maybe start taking notice of artists like Timbaland and Missy and all that? When did that start coming about?
Same time y'all did, bro.
Mm-hmm.
When Missy dropped The Rain, I didn't know Missy existed before The Rain. Actually, I take that back because she was in the singing group. But I still, I didn't think about Missy being from Virginia. I didn't know she was from Virginia
right.
until after The Rain. So it wasn't until then. Before that, it was D'Angelo and Skills.
Okay.
And yeah.
I know D'Angelo.
I actually went to high school random. I went to high school with D'Angelo.
I did not know D'Angelo was from VA. I just learned that right now.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
I know that. So, all right. So you also, like I said, you also are an MC. I'm gonna still call you an MC. I don't care what you an MC to me.
Okay, I'll accept it.
When did you know that you wanted to be an MC? I know you said you got into the game kind of late, 12, 13, if you can call that late. But when did you know I want to do this? I want to be an MC.
Late. It's always late. I guess starting late and getting into it late led me to realize what I wanted to do late as well. So it wasn't until I was probably 22 when I really and it wasn't even that I was like, okay, let's back up. When I was probably 13, me and my homie Mike, we wrote a rhyme. You know how far we got in the rhyme? It's two of us. we got 2 bars in and got stuck. We was just stuck. We never went any further than the 2 bars. So that dream, that wasn't really a dream. That was just something we was doing because we was kicking it. So it wasn't until 95-ish when one of my guys was already rapping. We happened to work together. And he was like, yo, I got a studio, blah, blah, blah. He knew I liked hip hop. And he invited me over. I wrote something and rapped, and then I came back again, and
well, whatever you did, brother,
turned into a thing.
Oh, and just anybody listen, if you want to hear the album that Source that they put together, it's the group is called Grown Folks. You can find it on pretty much any streaming platform, right? Apple. I got it on Apple Music. Yep. But whatever you get your music at, you can go find the album. It's called Grown Folks. If you like hip hop, if you like that if you like lyricism, you like dope beats, go get it. Go cop it. That's all I'm saying. Go cop it.
Or you could just go stream it anyway. Yeah. You don't even have to like it. I don't care if you like
just
it.
Just go stream it anyway. True indeed. Mike Source joined us here on Real Spill. Check him out on TikTok at Source, of course. I'm telling you, some of the dopest, like the the bootleg versus battles that you put together on TikTok, some of them been like legendary, like verses where you actually make me like choose against some of my favorite MCs, and I'm like, damn, why you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you like? How big are you on the history? Because you seem to have so much history, so much knowledge stored up there, man. Like, when did you just start soaking all that in?
I don't know, man. I didn't even realize, like, I don't even know when I realized that everybody wasn't like that, you know, as far as hip hop, people that like hip hop or love hip hop, whatever. I'm like, you know, I'm just saying stuff because I saw it happen or remember it or played it or whatever the case was. But yeah, it wasn't until somebody was like, you know a lot about about hip hop.
Yeah.
I don't think I really thought of myself as knowing a lot. I just thought that if you love hip hop, you knew these things. But you know, apparently that is not the case.
Facts.
I think a lot of it comes from the Source and Double XL as well. I got to credit those two specifically. It was definitely a lot of reading those magazines and reading, you know, like we used to do, reading the back of tapes and CDs and the inserts and the lyrics and all that.
See, do y'all know Phil, Tim? Do y'all like we used to like you would get the album and when the first thing you did was read the credits. You read all the thank yous to see because I want to know who they was down with, like who was this crew down with, who was this MC down with.
We not that young, kid. We
okay.
remember these,
I mean, I remember looking at the Source and they had the mics to say how good the
5
mics in the Source, yeah.
Which means nothing now, but
absolutely nothing.
I was, you know what? I got
wait, no. Pause. Time out. It still means it still means something deep down in your heart because I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, and I was gonna ask this question: do you ever think that lyricism and you know what I'm saying will get back to the forefront of hip hop? Because right now it's just mumbling and beats and all that.
It's funny. I as much as it's hard to keep up with like that type of music, when I actually can decipher what they're saying, their lyrics is actually not bad.
Yeah, when you can, but can you decipher what they're saying?
I don't know if I put forth an effort enough to figure out what they're saying because it's a lot. It's like listening to metal with the growling. Like the instrumentation can be amazing. I don't know what the fuck they saying. I'm gonna try to hear it though. Like,
so what do you think? So do you think lyricism is on the way back?
Well, I think that if there was a chance, or if there was a chance, then the Kendrick Drake back and forth might have been a catalyst for it. If it was to happen soon, I think that might have been a catalyst for it because people were actually digging in and deciphering lyrics and listening to stuff over and over and being like, oh, did you hear that? And this had this meaning and it meant this, and it was all that. So people were really focused on the lyrics over the past couple months, I guess. And yeah, if there was ever a time for a resurgence, you would think that battle, because it was two of the titans,
right,
would spark it.
Do you think we're still heading in a positive direction in hip hop, or were we ever not heading in a positive direction? Do you or what do you think about that?
Positive as in
like, I don't know. I guess that's Phil's talking, like the return of dope lyricists, the return of a beat, and that's kind of stuff being in the forefront, like the elements, the original elements of hip hop, being like in the forefront. Because it don't seem like those are in the forefront right now. So
no, that's wait, isn't b-boying in the Olympics, or is it coming up in the Olympics?
I don't know. You got me, bro.
I don't want to lie to you. I feel like it is, but I could.
No, that would be dope if it was b-boying in the Olympics.
I thought that breaking. Maybe I'm tripping.
That would be dope if it was. That'd be dope. Break. I would watch that. I don't usually watch the Olympics. I'd watch that.
You don't watch the Olympics?
It depends on what it do with the event.
You don't watch the Olympics?
This is about to turn into a whole other thing right here.
I'll watch the women's basketball because I'm gonna see them dominate without Caitlin Clark. So I'll watch that for sure. For sure. All right. Here's something I want to ask you, man.
Sorry about the noise.
No, you good. You good. You're putting together your perfect MC. What 5 MCs are you combining to put together that perfect MC?
5 MCs to put together a perfect MC.
Yep.
The depth and like meaning. I wanted to say Scarface, but if I say Scarface, I really got to say Tupac. So I'll say Tupac.
Okay.
The depth and heart of Tupac. The lyrical prowess and stage presence of, no, I'll say lyrical prowess of Black Thought. The stage presence of KRS-One.
Okay.
The commercial viability of LL. Not saying LL is some commercial something or other, but I'm just saying.
No, I get it.
And the worldwide. I don't even know if the word is. I'm just gonna go with acceptance. The worldwide. I don't care, but these people still love me. Of Snoop.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. I was not expecting Snoop. Not expecting that at all. But you're right though. If there is a celebrity out there, a rapper that's likable, it's Snoop.
How you be a gangbanger and likable by white people is crazy.
I don't know.
You do a show with Martha Stewart. That's how you do it.
No, but I've always wondered how is Snoop?
How did he get so likable?
Similar to all right. I always ask this question. Sorry, I always ask. I asked it yesterday. Why do other people outside of Black people love Public Enemy so much? Like, what is their obsession with Public Enemy? That's how I feel about Snoop. Why do people who are not? Why do people like Snoop like that? I don't understand.
Something about Snoop just comes across as real, like smooth, almost like really approachable, right? Like Snoop is that dude that you want to like hang out with if you smoke a couple with, because you know he gonna smoke you under the table. And
unless you're Willie Nelson, yes,
that's true. That's the only person that can outsmoke Snoop. He said to himself.
Yep.
But no, Snoop is just he just feels approachable like that. Like you could just hang out with Snoop, right? Like he don't feel. Some celebrities feel like you can't touch them. And Snoop is like, nah, you can. I'm touch. Pause if you need to. I'm touchable. You know, like you can. You know what I mean? He just feels like that.
Understood.
So, no, I get it. All right, man. So you are also an author because you wrote a book. And I forgot. It's been such a crazy day. I was going to bring the book with me. I forgot it.
I should have the book with me if I was a better salesman.
I bought a new car today, man. And it's been crazy, bro. It's been crazy. Nah.
You got the Tesla.
I didn't want to. No, hell no. I didn't want to. I had to bite the bullet. It was more than I wanted to pay, but it was worth it, I guess. But so it was a crazy day. But no, the book is called Shorts from Source. 30 short stories and poems, I believe, right? That you wrote and put together. And you got it?
31 thoughts, poems, and stories from me. Long story short, I started writing stuff down. For whatever reason, I just started writing stuff down. 9 years ago. And I realized after a while, I was like, I have a bunch of random written things. I need to put them somewhere together. So I typed them in my phone, put them in my own email, emailed them to myself, or put them in the drafts or whatever. They sat there forever. And then I'd write one and put it in there. And then I realized, I was like, if I die, ain't nobody gonna see these Jones, so I might as well do something with them. So I put it together, and I figured I could market it as 31, one per day for a month, as opposed to trying to write 100 of them and never finish. I figured I'd go ahead and use what I had, add a couple more to it, and then present it like that. And thankfully, people were receptive to it. I think part of it is that. I think it's cool. I think the book is cool. I think what I wrote is good, but I also think that people just are receptive to it, especially on TikTok. because they just like me for whatever reason, so they want to support. And I look, I don't belittle that. I appreciate it because support is support for real, and it'll be the people closest to you, or the people that you know, or the people that know you that will not support you. It's very odd.
Don't we know
Very
it?
odd.
Don't we know it? If I could tell you the people that be like, hey man, check out my show, I mean, they don't even, you know what I'm saying? So
It
I
always
know.
takes an outsider to bring it to their attention, or them to see it outside of you telling them about it, for them to take it seriously. I'm like, dog, like, you know me, you know, and you, I feel like you shouldn't expect people to do stuff. Like, I don't expect people to do it, but there are some people that I'm like, dog, like, for real, like,
Yeah,
how you not gonna at least cop the book?
exactly. I'll be like, yo, sometimes I'm like, yo, how'd you say you didn't listen to the show? Oh, okay, cool. All right, hey, so I'm gonna ask you, man, because you know, we try to go a week without talking about it, but we seem to not be.
Come on, man, it's Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, come on, man. What's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts, man?
I don't need to be prompted. I already know what's going on.
Yep.
What's my thought?
Listen.
Look, 3 years ago, Caitlin Clark, 2 years ago, I guess, when she was a sophomore, if you pay attention to college basketball, women's college basketball at all, you saw her. Even if you just pay attention to ESPN, I'm not saying they showed her a lot. They showed her a little bit when she, go crazy, a little bit. Even into the junior year, you see her a little more. But it wasn't until the Angel Reese moment where the world paid attention, and it was it was heavily because it was black against white.
Thank
and
you.
Then it was black thug. Oh, look at her doing this thing that's disrespectful to this white girl. And now all those people who didn't care. How you got grown men who have never paid attention to women's basketball, all of a sudden Caitlin Clark show up and they're like, oh my God, Caitlin Clark, she's the great. You didn't know her name 6 months ago. Now you're her number one fan running around here acting crazy.
Source, I've seen these dudes say that Caitlin Clark is the Michael Jordan of women's basketball. I've seen this. Right? Yeah, I've seen this. Like, okay, all right, cool.
And it's not even what I feel like they're saying it, but when they say it, to me, they're saying it based on skill and popularity. I'm like, dog, you haven't seen her do anything on a professional level. Why are you trying to act like LeBron came in and went crazy immediately? She ain't LeBron.
Is she doing anything that really, let's be honest, and I asked this question and some people say yes, some people say, is she doing anything that we really haven't seen before? Like that?
No, but she's not going to at this point. Her season is not, I don't want to present it like she's not a good, like she can play.
Great.
Don't get me wrong, she can hoop.
Great.
However, thinking that you were coming into a league of grown women who have been disrespected forever and just show up, not even that she thought it, that the people thinking that she's going to just show up and go crazy, she's not quick enough to go crazy. So she can't get, just like Gino Ariema said, coach at UConn, she's not fast enough to get away from the physicality.
Nope. So
she can shoot, but if she goes right, she's going to the bucket. If she goes left, she's going to the step back or the side step. You're going to have to do more than that in order to,
trying to tell
be
you
one of them.
And they talking about they want her in the Olympics. No, she ain't ready for FIBA yet. She is not ready for FIBA. She don't want them problems.
And let us pray. Hold up. Let's pray that nobody gets hurt or bows out.
Lord.
I'm not trying to see that. I'm not trying to see that.
So it's going to be the first option. And how can you be the first option when Arike ain't out there, Nefe ain't out there, Alicia Gray ain't out there, Ariel Atkins ain't out there? Like, it's a list of how do you get dogged by Dejanay Carrington 3 times?
Yep.
And nobody even, like, respectfully, most people don't know who Dejanay Carrington is. She's crushing you.
And got a list of
who is that?
She plays for the Connecticut Sun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Locking her up.
Got Alyssa Thomas tossing her like a rag doll. Try to take that ball. Yeah, DJ. Yeah. All right, listen. Source, all right, we'll get you out of here on this last question, man, because I gotta do it. Right? I gotta do it.
Come on.
So are we bouncing back this year? I'm talking about the are we bouncing back this year, man? What's happening? What's happening?
Bro, listen.
Look,
I thought you was gonna say something like some top five or
Nah,
what's the greatest
I know
hip
it's
hop
top.
rap battle that you know what I'm saying?
These-
Something cool.
No.
Don't nobody want to hear about y'all
Well,
Eagles.
if you get on TikTok and join us live, you'll know what his top 5 is. You know what I'm saying? Join us live. But no, what we doing, Source? What we doing?
Here's the thing. Well, two things. One, dog, they got us like the best team. They got us ranked at number 1 in the NFC. I'm like, hold on, bro. Y'all, what is happening? Did y'all not see the end of last year?
I don't like it.
Also, I feel like a lot of that is based on Saquon, and I'm cool with Saquon. I mean, I wasn't looking for Saquon Barkley personally, but it's cool. But I can't trust that man to stay healthy, and nothing against him because people, he don't get hurt on purpose. But I can't expect him to play a whole season either. Like, I don't expect it. But the main thing I was going to say is I learned from Kobe, bro. I learned from Kobe. You got to compartmentalize. I don't be paying attention to football until August. I be checking out all the way out. So I don't even know for real.
You know what? I've been since when Saquon signed, I really wanted to be excited. It feels like no, I know. Yeah, listen, they Browns fans. They got their own problems. You know.
Wait. Time out. You said Browns fans?
Yeah, they got
I'm from Cleveland, baby. I did 216 till I die.
Yeah, they got their own problems.
Respect.
They got their own problems.
Kevin Mack and Ernest Bonner. Sheesh.
They got a $230 million problem right now. If he don't work out, they're gonna be.
We ain't trying to talk about that, kid.
All right, yeah, okay.
Let's change the subject.
Okay. All right, okay. No, I was just saying, like, to me, Saquon.
Get that man a massage.
It felt like DeMarco Murray when he signed. It felt like DeMarco Murray. I'm like, I don't like it. I mean, I'll take it, but I ain't like over the moon about it. It is what it is. So
I have a question. We get back to hip hop and everything because y'all want to talk about football. I've heard people say that this was the greatest rap battle, and that this has now surpassed No Vaseline or Hit 'Em Up as the greatest diss song of all time.
No,
is that, in your opinion, is that true, or is this? Because to me, this wasn't even the greatest diss song this year. I'm sorry, Chris Brown came with the I just murdered everybody, get out my face type. You know what I mean? So I was just like, is this just Johnny come latelyism, or is this what we do, or was this actually a legitimate, real back and forth hip hop beef? Because it wasn't for me. I was bored by it. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I was just bored by it.
First of all, you can't say Chris Brown without saying the 804. So Chris Brown. But okay, was it the greatest battle? Of course not. Like, how would it be the greatest battle? People are, all about the moment. So prisoners of the moment, I get it. But a part of that is the fact that this is the most social media battle that we've had. Mm-hmm. So you got the popularity, plus social media, plus literally every day, all day, if you're on social media, all you're watching is breakdowns of Kendrick bars and people reacting to Kendrick songs. That's what was on social media for weeks. Like, that's what you was gonna see, regardless of what kind of feed you had or what you was trying to look for. That is what you were getting. So that's part of it. The fact that Kendrick used social media to his advantage is part of it as well. But greatest? Nah, not the greatest. How's it going to be the greatest? There's a whole lot of battles, and there's no specific song that you can say was that one. You say Not Like Us only because of its popularity, and it was a bop. It's a joint. Like, it's played everywhere. But it's not because it was such a fire diss specifically. It's because of the popularity of it and other people checking in with it.
How you think it got there? Because it was fire.
No,
it murdered.
No, it got there because
the song single-handedly killed the beef.
You
Drake's next song, he waved the white flag.
You said because it was fire? That's why it was popular?
It was yes, it was a fire song. It is a fire song.
No.
Yeah. I'm be honest, and I say this and we get shot at. So I did a thing where I listened. They told me I listened to.
I was just wondering. Wait,
I listened to
got one more
three.
question.
I listened to 3 Kendrick Lamar. I think I listened because I heard Good Kid, Mad City already. I've already heard that. I listened to To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn, and then I listened to J. Cole's first 3 albums. And after doing that, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of cool on Kendrick. I respect him and all that, but I'm kind of cool on Kendrick. Like J. Cole, I was like, yeah, I'm rocking with Cole, but yeah, I'm kind of cool on Kendrick anyway. So
interesting. Well, I mean, I'm not mad at that. Kendrick ain't for everybody.
No.
But
Go ahead. You got one more question?
One more question. Because I'm a fan. I love Cole. Do we drop Cole like a couple notches because he bowed down and he apologized? Like for real, because half of me is like, what do you mean you bowing out? Because I felt like Cole could have just dominated both of them, and that would have been that. But do we drop him a couple notches? You not only did you drop out, but you apologized.
So it's like, I feel like this is a nuanced conversation, because you can say, yeah. And I thought the same thing. I was like, I respect it. I mean, I respected that he bowed out, but I understand why people would act, like, how you gonna do that? It's rap, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. But if Schoolboy Q, allegedly, came to you and said, hey, I don't know if you want to be a part of this, and then you find out that it's not going to be a battle, it's going to be let's see how much dirt we can get on each other and put it in a rhyme.
It's a crucifixion.
This wasn't a rap battle. This was you're a terrible person battle.
I
want to try to make you as bad a person as me. That's what that was.
I like that. That was not a battle. It was who's the most terrible person.
See, yeah. This is why I had this why I had him come on the show. But this right here, this why I had him come on the show. For exactly that right there. So, hey, listen, Source, man, we got another guest coming on. But listen, hey, bro,
other guest, man, I thought I was here for 2 hours.
Oh, well, you family to me. You know, family to me, man. We in the same vein, brother. I rock with you heavy, man. It's I'm glad we was able to make this happen, man. I think I was doing a show on this network a while back and we couldn't hook up and do it, man. But I think it was might have been like Mother's Day or something like that. No, it was your anniversary. It was your anniversary. And I was like, yep, I get it. Don't worry about it. But no, hey, man, thank you, man, for coming through, man. Really appreciate it. And hey, listen, y'all, get on TikTok at Source of Course. If you want some real hip hop, one of the dopest creators on the app, I'm telling you, go follow this man on TikTok at Source of Course. Go cop that book, Shorts from Source, and get on whatever streaming thing. The album is called Grown Folks. Go and get it. I'm sorry, the group is called Grown Folks. Sorry. Go and get the album.
Child's Play.
Go and get the album. Dope album, dope book, dope hip hop content creator, man. Just dope all around. Source, man. I appreciate you. And maybe we'll do it again. And when you check back into the Eagles in August, we'll maybe.
Oh yeah. Moving on your left.
My brother, man. I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
Y'all too.
All right, man. Peace.
Take care.
Yes, sir. See? And we're gonna just stay on because Matthew Ruys is coming in about 5 minutes, so we might as well just go ahead and stay on. But that's why I had him on. I'm telling you, man, get on that brother's his lives. He would do these bootleg verses lives. Like he would have like A Tribe Called Quest versus De La Soul. And I'm like, come on, son,
How you gonna pick that?
You can't do right. Like you can't do that. You can't do that.
I can't even.
Or KRS-One.
De La Soul.
Like I mean, and he would play a song from one and a song from the other. Then he would have people vote on which song they like.
Going with De La Soul?
Going with De La Soul. It's a personal thing.
He had me hooked because he was like, when I went and I followed him, he had me hooked. He was like, well, what's the dopest opening line to a song that you ever heard? And I literally had to sit there and think. I was like, yo, I can't choose one. What do you mean just
like,
one?
I know hip hop. That brother. I know hip hop. That brother knows hip hop.
No, if I had to pick anything,
Like the dopest opening verse to a song.
opening verse or
Yeah.
opening line. Okay.
The dopest opening verse. He said either a single artist or a group or whatever, just whatever song you have the dopest opening verse.
For me, I think it stays the same. Threats by Jay-Z.
Okay. I
Chop
can't.
you up, put him in the mattress like drug man.
I can't even.
For me, it might be Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos by Public Enemy, because the song starts, I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it. It said they were suckers. They wanted me for their army or whatever. Picture me giving a damn. I said never. It's talking about the draft, And
That would be something you would
it's a dope line,
What
man.
you trying to say? You over there falling asleep? What you trying to say?
The whole song is dope, though. The whole song, dope to me.
just saying he had to worry about the draft. I didn't, you know what I mean?
Well, listen, the song came out in 1980, so there wasn't no draft in the 80s. But he came up in that. He's from that era, so he's from that era.
Back in my day.
Hey man, it's a dope song. What do you want from me? It's a classic.
Oh man,
classic. But there's so many. I mean, you talking about dope lines and dope verses, like KRS-One. I'm not saying I'm number one. Oh, sorry, I'm lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, there's so many dope lines, and even some songs that like they aren't really like gangster. Like, okay, there's a song by have you heard? You guys ever heard the group Little Brother? You ever heard him before?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Fonte, he's got an album. He's got a line on a song. He says, hold on. How do I start? I want to make sure I get it right. Oh, I said, sometimes I think I'm from another world when I'm trying to tell a girl just exactly where I stand at. I want a girl when I want a girl, but when I don't want a girl, I want a girl who understands that. It's like, right. See?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
that's nice.
You can find some dope, but you gotta go underground. Hey, telling you, man, if you really want to, not that this is dope, but if you just want a song, we talking about that Dance with the Devil by Immortal Technique, that song will have you. I'm just saying, you gotta like mentally, y'all both might need to smoke a little something before you listen to that song. I don't smoke, but y'all both might want to.
I do.
I mean, y'all both might want to.
Oh, another one that'll be the Suicide Note by Scarface.
See, telling you, man, you can find hip hop told a lot of stories, man. I'm telling you, like when you talk about like police brutality, all that, hip hop been telling you this. You can go all the way back to the Message in 1982, and hip hop was telling you this, right? So all you had been doing for all these years is listening to hip hop. They've been telling you this, like it ain't nothing new. Like it's new to some people, new to a certain demographic, but it ain't new to us. Like hip hop tells the story a lot. And I think we need to get back to that, at least in the mainstream, right? Because in the mainstream, a lot of times it's like, I mean, we can only go to the club so many times. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we've been so for real, we've been partying since what 2000 and I want to say 7, like 2006, 2007. That's when it really took that. That's when Atlanta really took that grip, that hold, and we started dancing.
Snap your finger.
Yeah, you know.
Do your step. You can do it all by yourself. Let me see you do it.
Taffy. Yeah. So we've been dancing and we've been in the club for the better part of 20 years now.
We need to get back to some real shit because there's some real shit going down in this world, man.
And don't get me wrong, I will, like you said, when we were talking about who's real and who really was about it, that drill music is real. We may not like it, but they're really out there doing that stuff. Like,
all right, man. So we going right into the next interview. Now this one I was stoked for Source. I'm really stoked for this one, man. Doing this right now on the show. It's the homie, man. His name is Matthew Ruys. He is a singer, songwriter, producer, record label owner. If it's in the music industry, he's done it. He's joined us on the show, man. Matthew, welcome. We appreciate you, brother.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Hey, listen, so full transparency here. Me and Matthew have been friends on Facebook for
30 years.
Almost 10 at least. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Were you in the draft too?
No, stop it. almost 10 years, but obviously because he's from New Zealand, he lives in Australia, he lived in LA for a minute. We couldn't really physically. So this is really the actual first time that we have actually talked to each other, like physically, not on Messenger or Facebook.
I have so many questions that's not about hip hop right now.
Yeah, me too.
Really,
okay.
Is Australia really as dangerous? Are the creatures really as weird and dangerous as everybody says they are? I'm sorry. As soon as you say that, this popped in my head. I was like, oh my God, not the land down under. I was like, the craziness that goes on over there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some crazy creatures. God had some fun when he was creating Australia. That's for sure.
Yeah,
you get some spiders that are like this kind of size, and you get not very.
Y'all got dinosaurs there?
I'd still go.
I mean, there were dinosaurs once upon a time, but yeah. No, it's pretty crazy. Like there's a park not far from me, and there's like one of the most dangerous snakes in the world that kind of lives in that park. It's called the brown snake. And if you get bitten by one of those, you got about 20 minutes to get to the hospital, get a shot. Otherwise, it's bye-bye,
Yeah, no.
But,
nope.
But, snakes, they kind of stick to themselves. They don't really come out looking for you. When they feel the vibrations of people around, they tend to sort of get away and,
He's so nonchalant about the most dangerous snake
in the world. Yeah, 20 minutes. Otherwise,
he's so nonchalant about it.
It's funny.
I got a funny story about that. Like I was a few years back, I was with my son at a pet store here, and we were just looking at some different things that we were looking at buying. And this father and his son walk in, and they have this brown cardboard box, and they put it on the counter, and this store actually sells snakes as pets as well. So anyway, he takes this box and he puts it on the counter. He said, listen, my son and I, we found this snake down at the park, and we thought you might want it to sell or something, And the guy opens it up and he sees that it's a brown snake. He's like, what the,
are you crazy?
These guys that grabbed this snake, put it in a box, it could have, if it had bitten one of them.
Oh my God.
They might not have made it home that night, but
it's Australia, man. So I said, now you are from Auckland.
I'm from Auckland, New Zealand. Yeah, from South Auckland.
South Auckland. My brother-in-law is from Wellington, New Zealand, and he's just showing me pictures. I'm telling you, before I leave this earth, New Zealand is somewhere I have to go. It's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever seen. I mean, he showed me things that are just amazing, fascinating, and I got to get to New Zealand, man. It's what,
like Lord of the Rings and all that?
I don't know.
Yeah, all that Lord of the Rings is all shot there, and that scenery is not. When they show the scenery in Lord of the Rings, that's not CGI. That's
it's country. Real.
Yeah.
Yes, it's real. Wow. It's beautiful.
That's also why James Cameron lives there now, because he's doing all of the Avatar films in New Zealand, and uses a lot of New Zealand scenery for those films as well. So he literally has moved to New Zealand, and he's living there he's been there, I think, for probably 8 years now, working on the Avatar films, and he loves it. So he's I think I heard recently that he's looking at becoming a New Zealand citizen. I don't know if that's true, but I did hear that somewhere.
I can't blame him. I'm telling you, I'm going.
Okay.
Now, plane tickets are free, but I'm going. One of these days, I'm going. All right, so let's.
You can get a deal. You can get a deal on a plane. Like I think when I was living in LA, I went down to New Zealand a few times, and I if you're looking for a good deal, you can find a return flight for like $1,000 to New Zealand and back. So it's not crazy money.
I mean, yeah, I can swing that. I think I can swing that. Okay, baby,
and it's worth it. It's worth it,
honey. We're going to New Zealand. So look, man, you you are immersed in music, but who were some of your earliest musical influence? What was playing in the Ruys household when you were coming up?
Man, well, my number one is always and will always be Stevie Wonder. So when I was, my earliest memory, I was like 3 or 4 years old, and my sister had like an old gramophone type thing in her bedroom, and just a handful of records, maybe 6 or 7 records.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those was a Stevie Wonder album. It was Inner Visions. And I remember as a little kid sneaking into her room and playing the Stevie Wonder record, and just falling in love. Like that was it. So he was number one. I mean, I listened to a lot of Al Green, Donny Hathaway,
Okay.
Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, all those
Mhm.
kind of, they were all the artists that I listened to, and I was like, man, this is what I want to do. I just want to make music.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were the greats. And then of course when like the 80s came around, and I got introduced in the early 80s to hip hop, I fell in love with that as well. The first time I heard The Message by Grandmaster Flash, I was like, within a week I'd learned every word to that, that all 7 minutes of it, and I've had a love for hip hop ever since as well. So yeah, and then also, I mean, so I started off in South Auckland, which is basically the Polynesian capital of the world. Like there's more Samoans in South Auckland than there are in Samoa.
Wow.
And then you've got Rarotongans and Niueans and all kinds of Polynesians, and then also a lot of the indigenous people of New Zealand, which are the Maori as well. So I grew up in a neighborhood that they all just naturally gravitated towards Black music. And so because I grew up in that neighborhood, I did as well.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't soul and R&B, then it was reggae. Be listening to stuff like Bob Marley and Black Uhuru and Aswad and like all of these old reggae acts as well. Toots and the Maytals. The first live concert I ever went to was Toots and the Maytals live, and it blew my mind. Anything that's got some soul to it, I love.
See, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I had it. I'm so glad I had him come on the show, because I remember, like, I was like that. Like, I was born in 1975, so when I was, young, and the old folks would have the parties at the house. My, pops and mom had a party at the house. I heard stuff like, Midnight Star and Shalimar and Atlantic Star and Lakeside and all that. And,
Yeah,
even
Alexander O'Neill.
Yeah, right. Alexander O'Neill, right. So like we and I remember like liking songs for the bass line. Like there was a certain bass line to be in a song, and there's one song, this group, and I'm not gonna sing it, but I wish I could remember the name of it, because I loved it when I was a kid, and I don't know the name of it, so I can't even go find it now. But one day when I'm, maybe when I don't have dementia, it'll come back to me. But so yeah, I remember being that young and loving bass lines or songs. And then when hip hop came along, I was like, oh man, like, because my mom didn't censor anything we listened to, so yeah. God bless her for that.
Oh, you're lucky.
God bless her for that, man. Because I remember 86 listening to the Beastie Boys. I was 11 years old, listening to the Beastie Boys at 86. So for you though, Matt, what was the hip hop scene like in New Zealand though for you when you come? What was that scene like? Was it different than, I guess, a scene in New York? What was it like for you?
Well, I think so when it first started out, and you had stuff like Hey You, the Rocksteady Crew, and stuff like that in the 80s. Mm-hmm. All my friends and I, we got hard into breakdancing and popping and locking and all that kind of stuff. So I got very early memories of all of us hanging out in a friend's garage and just watching like the videos for what was it, Buffalo Girls, and seeing the world famous Supreme Team crew and that, doing their dancing and stuff, and just studying it and learning the moves, and and then we'd be down out at the time there was like this post office that had a big sort of area out the front, and we'd take like we do what the rest of the world was doing. We'd take a roll of like lino, as you call it, lino in the US.
Like linoleum.
Linoleum,
yeah, the hard
roll it out, and someone would have a ghetto blast, and we'd have breakdancing battles and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of where it started, and then it wasn't until around sort of 86, 87 that local crews started coming up who were rapping and things as well. Mm-hmm. So from Wellington, where your friend is from, there was in New Zealand, legendary crew They were called the Upper Hut Posse. Upper Hut is like it's like it's one of the poorer neighborhoods just outside of Wellington, and this rap crew came up out of there. And then it all sort of started bubbling up, and different crews came up and things. And then in the 90s, it really kind of took hold, and that was it was in the 90s when I started making records, and I was also part of a group called House Party, who went on to become Fuimana. So I don't know if you guys have heard of a song that you probably have, went all around the world, called How Bizarre by OMC.
I have not heard that song. I'll be honest.
The chorus hook was like, how bizarre, how bizarre. It was like at one point, it was like the #1 song on American college radio. This was around 94, 95, around that time. But the guy, Paulie Fuimana, his brother, Phil Fuimana, and I had a group called House Party. And we used to like sit around listening to soul and hip hop all the time and working on our music and things. And his brother was wanting to start up a group, and we were reading a magazine one day, and I was looking at this article about this band called the Harlem Yacht Club.
Okay.
I think it was one of Dallas Austin's groups.
Yeah.
Dallas Austin from Atlanta.
Yep.
And one of the rougher neighborhoods where we lived was Otara, which is where Phil was from, my friend, another South Auckland suburb.
Okay.
Very, very poor neighborhood, not much, the government ignored type sort of place, very Polynesian. Anyway, I saw this article and I said, Harlem Yacht Club, we should, that'd be like having an Otara Millionaires Club. And so this group was started, Otara Millionaires Club, and they had the song How Bizarre, and it became #1 in like 16 countries or something crazy like that. And they actually ended up becoming millionaires off this song. So there was like this crazy,
I need to hear this song.
Crazy thing where the name of the act became true. It was like one of the only millionaire groups ever to come out of New Zealand.
I need to hear this song now. I got to hear this song now. OMC, I got this song.
And you know what? When you hear it, you'll go, "Oh, I've heard that."
I was just thinking that it's probably one of those songs like,
I think it's played in like Walmarts and things like that. Like it's played all over the place. So when I was living in the US, I used to hear it all the time. So.
Music producer, singer, songwriter, album, record label owner, music aficionado, Matthew Ruys joins us here on Real Spill. So you and I have a mutual friend. So let me back up. I'll take a step back. So my brother-in-law, again, who's from Wellington, this was not long after. This is probably 2007. He went home to visit.
Yeah.
When he came back, he brought me the album of a mutual friend of both, or at least a mutual Facebook friend of both of ours, a man by the name of Dehamo. And that's how I first heard New Zealand hip hop, right? That's how I heard it.
Right.
Was the first album that I heard. And then I kind of connected with Matthew off of that friendship with Dehamo. Shout out to Dehamo, man. What up, man? So talk about that relationship and how did you guys hook up and what has that relationship meant for your career?
Yeah, so Dehamo, he's someone that I've known for a long time. Like in the late 90s, I was doing shows down at a club in Auckland that was called Core Celeb. And it was like a improv type thing where we had like a hip hop DJ, we had some jazz players, and Dehamo used to rap and I used to sing. And, we'd do these shows where we'd start at like 2:00 in the morning and we finished as the sun was coming up, sort of thing. And it was a crazy time. But so Sonny Sagala is his real name, Dehamo. Dehamo just basically means the Samoan. So Sonny Sagala, he was part of the whole Polynesian hip hop R&B crew that sort of came up under Phil Fuimana, who was the guy who I had the band with.
Okay.
Phil was kind of known as the godfather of South Auckland R&B, soul, hip hop. He was a larger than life type character, but him and I had this band together, and then he started fostering all these other artists from South Auckland and sort of developing them and giving them platforms and things. And one of the kids that came up through that was De Hamo.
Mm-hmm.
And De Hamo had released songs here and there over time, but he'd never actually done an album. And I had been doing a few projects for like Universal Music and for Sony and things like this. And I decided that De Hamo had to have his own solo album. It was too long in the making, you know. So I approached him and asked him about it, and he was interested. And I went to Universal and set up a deal to have a label through Universal, which was Ruys Records, which is just HI and my surname, Ruys Records. And so the album that we released was the one that you have. It's called
First Edition. Yep.
Yeah. And it's just basically De Hamo rapping about all of his aspirations in life, you know, and it worked out really great. The first single was #1 in New Zealand for like some crazy amount of time. Over a month, it was #1, and it ended up being, I think, the biggest selling New Zealand artist single of that year, and and the record was really well received. So
it's a great album.
All...
It's a great album. It is. I mean, it stays in my rotation to this day. It's a great album. I still have the CD. Yes, I still.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, and your listeners from around the world can. It's available to listen to on all the streaming services if you want to hear it. But it is a great album because it's got a lot of character and it really brings out who he is. You know, he's a funny guy. You know, he can be a comedian at times. He can be serious at times. But he really approaches the whole thing in a very musical way. He really looks at each track as like, you know, as a song, and musically, you know, he's not one of these guys who just like looks for a good beat and raps over it and says, well, that's enough. Like, he really wants to compose, and that really comes out on that record, I think. Yeah.
Now you also you develop artists, right? So when you are looking for a new artist to develop, right? You see a new artist, or if you're just out there saying maybe looking for new talent, what's the main criteria you look for when you're looking for a potential new artist?
Well, I think artists, man, there's so much that they need to be able to do these days. You know, I mean, really, if you want to be an artist, you've got to really see yourself as a business, you know. And I mean, it's always good to have a good team around you. Like, you know, it's good to have management so that the artist doesn't have to play the bad guy. You know, you can deal with the management can play the bad guy. That's always a good thing. But really, as an artist, I mean, obviously, I'm looking for the things that most people would think are obvious: originality, you know, drive. They got to be in it for the love of music, because if you're just in it to be famous, I'm not really interested in that. I'm looking for artists. I'm looking for people who are passionate about what they do and have something to offer the world, you know. So one of the things I do is I run a big event in Asia that's I curate it. It's called Music Matters Live. It's kind of like it's like the gateway to doing music business in Asia, and Asia is actually one of the fastest growing music industries in the world. And it's changed a lot. I've been doing it for 10 years, and just in that 10 years, it's changed so much. Like, you know, all of these Asian countries, nowadays they're listening to all the stuff that we listen to, you know, and in fact, like, I mean, a year ago, I was talking to a guy who runs Warner Music over there in Asia, and he was saying the fastest growing music style for him at that time was Afro beats. Like, you know, Asian populations are just loving Afrobeat music. But so anyway, I curate this festival. It's called Music Matters Live, and what I do is I get submissions from all over the world, hundreds and hundreds of submissions from different acts who want to break into the Asian market. And I go through them all and I look at everything from, well, firstly, the music is the number one.
Right.
But then I want to look at their social media. I want to look at what have they performed live, what kind of turnout do they get to their shows and stuff, and do they have a business plan? Like, do they have a team around them? Like, there's so much that you've got to look at when you're developing an act now, because so much work goes into making an act happen. So if they're not ready for it,
Yeah. People think it's just like you get a record deal and then all of a sudden you're on the radio, and it's no, man. It's there's so much more behind.
No, I had a show on one of the main TV stations here that I was an artist interviewer on. I'd interview the artists that came into Australia to perform, and I can remember interviewing the group that had that song "Too Close." You know the song "Too Close."
Oh shoot.
But I can't hide it.
Yes, R&B group. Oh gee.
Man, I'm having a mind blank of their name.
Too Close.
What's
No,
that?
no. Was that no Jagged Edge? Was it Jagged Edge? Yeah, Jagged Edge.
Not Jagged. No, not Jagged
No?
Edge. I'm gonna look it up. I got it on. I got my
You sure
Apple
it's not
Music
112?
here.
It was 112.
Too
I know the song.
Close.
Dun.
Next, they were called Next, and it was a huge song.
Yes.
Yeah, I know the song. I was just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
It was
next.
a massive song.
Next.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was interviewing them when that song came out, and I was like, man, how's it feel to just be straight out with a #1 hit around the world and everything? And they said, we've been in this record deal for 8 years. It's taken 8 years before we got our first song out, and it blew up. But yeah, nobody knows the journey that happens before a song comes out. I mean, yeah, you've got these artists that do blow up overnight, but a lot of overnight success takes 5 to 10 years. Yeah.
Well, it's like, for as crazy as he's been, and I don't really rock with him now, but I still remember being, Kanye West said he went to 100 record labels before he finally got a deal. He went to like 100 he said on his album, he played Jesus Walks for labels, and he was like, nah, we good. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Because regardless, regardless of what I think made, he's a nutcase now, his first 3 albums are classics. I'm sorry, you can't take that away. His first 3 albums,
First four.
Nah, then it's 4. But his first 3, to me, his first 3 are classics. Even
Amazing.
Yeah. I got a funny story about that. I was working at Universal when we got advanced copies of the first album.
College Dropout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was going to be about a month before it was going to be released when we got our copies. And I remember hearing Jesus Walks the first time, and I went into the office of the guy who was kind of in our region anyway, was in charge of sort of working the songs and getting them out to radio and stuff like that. And I said, that song Jesus Walks, that's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah. No song called Jesus Walks is going to be a hit. I said, you watch. What?
Listen,
so I wish I had a camera set up when I was in that office saying that to the guy, but yeah.
I just remember hearing when the first time I heard Through the Wire, I was like, holy, this dude is on some. I missed that Kanye. Kanye.
He misses that Kanye.
Yeah, he sure does.
We all miss that.
I miss that Kanye.
I miss the old Kanye.
Man.
So speaking of albums, Matt, you actually are working on a new album right now, right? You're working on a new album. So what was the inspiration behind the decision to get going to the studio again?
So it all came about because last year I recorded a song with Arrested Development.
Dope.
It's called Hard in the Paint. And that song I did the hook on it. And then there was Sly Fifth Ave, who's a well-known brass player. He played all of the brass on it and stuff. He's a guy who used to play for Prince, and he's worked with lots of different people. But anyway, the guy who produced that track goes by the producer named Mnemonics. And he's like a US platinum hip hop producer. He's based out of Dallas, and so anyway, we got to talking after that song came out and stuff, and I said, he showed me some other beats of his and things like that, and there was a bit of back and forth, and out of this, I started feeling like, you know what, maybe it's time for a new Matty J record.
Mm-hmm.
So we just started sending stuff backwards and forwards to each other, and over the past 6 months, we've been working on the record, and it's coming together really good. Hopefully, it'll be done and out by the end of the year. Yeah, I think it's a cool record. Yeah, so pretty excited about that. I over the past few years, I've done a lot of sort of writing for other people, and and hooks and things for other people's records and stuff. So, and guesting on other people's records, and it's been a while since I've done anything for myself. But it's just like.
And that Arrested Development album it's a dope album too. I'm telling you, it's a really, really good album. It's a very well done album. Do you ever think, because I'm just listening to you talk, Matthew, and I'm listening listen to your experiences and things. You ever just stop for a second and think to yourself like, man, here's this guy from Auckland, New Zealand, and it seems like you've experienced so much in the music industry, and you're still going and still experiencing new stuff. You ever just stop for a second and think about that? Like, man, I've done a whole lot.
Look, I'm aware that music has saved my life, basically. I came up in, like, as I said, pretty poor neighborhoods. Like, there were plenty of times when in our family, my father took off when I was young, and my mother struggled with mental health and stuff like that, and nobody in our neighborhood had anything. It wasn't unusual for us to have like porridge for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and have it made with like milk powder instead of real milk, things like that. It was like, we were what you'd call poor. So, but I had this voice, from a very young age. People used to say to me, dude, you can sing. Like, when I first started the group with Phil Fuimana, we did very R&B type music, right? And people used to come up after the shows and say to Phil, hey, that white boy you got in front, like, that white boy sounds black, and which, for me, that's an extreme compliment. But Phil ended up changing the name of the band to White Boy Black, and Phil's actually passed away now. But if you go and you visit his graveside, it says House Party White Boy Black for Imana. Nice. It has the names of the bands. Music took me out of the neighborhood. Over time, it has got me around the world. I mean, in the 90s, I was doing stuff in Atlanta, Georgia for quite a long time, which is how I met Speech from Arrested Development. But I was working with a guy called Gerald Jackson, who was Isaac Hayes' music director. We were in the studio working on songs together, writing and stuff. I worked with Alan Grip Smith, who worked with Keith Sweat.
Heavy hitters, man.
I spent a lot of time at a place called Crossover Studios in Atlanta, which, while I was working there, we'd have CeeLo Green would come in to work on some stuff, or TLC. I'd be sitting in the green room having lunch with TLC, when it was all three members.
Wow.
It was a crazy time, and I've made lifelong friends out of it all, So, I remember shooting a music video in Miami, and I was on Ocean Drive in Miami, and I was sitting on the edge. I've got this very vivid memory of sitting on the edge of my bed in a hotel in Miami, thinking, "How did I get here?" From eating porridge, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, to being here shooting a music video. Like, how did this happen? So I can only thank God, and I'm thankful for the voice that I've been given and the ability to write a tune and stuff. So But yeah, music's taken me to a lot of places. You know, I've got the chance to meet a lot of amazing people. I met David Bowie. I've met Stevie Wonder. I've met
It's
Smokey
crazy.
Robinson. You know, it's yeah, it's crazy. Life is crazy. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to switch gears here for a second because another thing that me and Matthew connect on has been politics.
I was going to say, I swear to God,
Oh.
Eagles football.
No. No. Yeah, we will, but
You got
before,
on Eagle Green.
no, before I get to that one, since you brought that up, now you're again Matthew's from New Zealand and my brother-in-law is from New Zealand, and if you know anything about New Zealand sports, like the All Blacks are like the All Blacks are like take the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the New York Yankees and roll them into one, and that's the All Blacks in New Zealand.
Yeah, they're literally, and this is a fact. You can look it up. The most winning team in the history of all sport.
Now, what sport is this?
This is rugby.
Rugby.
Yeah.
So like rugby, because now to connect the Eagles have a Australian rugby player, Jordan Mailata, on their team, left tackle. Who has basically in 6 years gone from not even knowing how to put on the pads to being one of the best left tackles in the entire league, which is amazing to me. But yeah, like the All Blacks, like they really encompass New Zealand. Like even like if you look at New Zealand Air, their airplanes, it's black like the All Blacks, right? Like they really encompass everything New Zealand, don't they?
Yeah. Black is our color in New Zealand. Like we love that color. So yeah, no, they I mean, every kid grows up learning to play rugby. Like everybody plays rugby in school. It is the national sport. And we are fervent when it comes to it. You know, we are hardcore rugby
They probably
fans.
think NFL players are such sissies because they wear pads, and they probably think the NFL players are sissies because they wear pads and all that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, Jonah Lomu, who was like one of the most famous rugby players in the world, he passed away from a sickness. But in the mid-90s, he was massive, and he was famous for running over the top of other players. You know, and he actually got approached about playing for the Dallas Cowboys, but he was so proud to be an All Black, he turned down the opportunity.
I always say rugby players and hockey players, like those are men. Those are real men. Like you got to be, you can't be soft and play either one of those sports. You cannot.
There's no padding.
No, not at all. All right, so let me go back to where I was going to go originally. So like I said, we also, Matthew and I connect politically on that same spectrum, right? Do you guys ever discuss America? Because you jumped into a lot of my conversations on Facebook, political conversations. You guys ever discussed American politics and just, or do you just sit back and like laugh at what's basically a shit show over here right now, like, you know, with Trump and Biden? Do you guys discuss our politics? Or do you guys just look at us and laugh?
I mean, look, the whole world looks at American politics because it has a bearing on the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, because of America's standing in the world, it's very important how that country is run and how decisions are made and things, because they affect the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, the world generally looks at America right now and its politics and thinks, what a mess. What an absolute mess. It's embarrassingly bad. I lived in LA through those 4 Trump years.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was in LA, so there were MAGA people around, but generally a lot of Democrats. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't quite so crazy, you know. But oh man, I think everybody's nervous. Everybody's nervous about the next election.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
Like if one side gets in, we're screwed, and if the other side gets in, it's feasible that there would be a civil war. So
like, I just find myself like thinking, part of me is like, okay, he could really get back into the White House. Another part of me like, nah, come on, we're not. Come on, we can't be that dumb as a country. We cannot be that dumb as a country and let this man get back in the White House. But I'm like, no, he's got a legitimate. The fact that he's got 34 felonies, and we ain't even got to Georgia and DC yet. And the fact that he's got a real chance to win, it's just like, what are we doing over here? What are we doing over here? And I know you guys have to just look at us and be like, yeah, at least we're not there. Because I remember in COVID, and I'm sorry, the New Zealand Prime Minister, her name escapes me, New Zealand President, her name
Jacinda Ardern.
Just asked, yes. She handled COVID so incredibly well. Like, if Trump would have done half of what she had done, he'd be president right now. She handled it so well. Like, the contrast is so amazing. Like, what's it like? What's it like not having a complete buffoon as a leader of your country?
I mean, it gives you a little bit more confidence. But again, the problem is the world is in a very shaky place at the moment, with what's happening in Ukraine, what's happening in Israel and Gaza, and all of the different things that are going on around the world, what's things that are happening in Africa and certain places. And there's a lot of sort of the right seems to be rising around the world, and like the far right, and it's kind of, the world's a scary place. And the problem with when the world is a scary place, you need someone with a steady hand to steer the ship. But it's so unpredictable what Trump might do, say, act like, who he might align with, all those sorts of things. That it just makes the world an even more dangerous place when you've got someone who's only driven by their ego and nothing else. Like, everything comes down to his ego. Everything comes down to, I'm the greatest person of all time, and I never, I don't make mistakes, and everybody must love me.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Biden is old and a little bit frail, but at least he's got a, he tries to make good decisions. He tries to do the right thing. When you've got someone who doesn't want to do the right thing,
I can't. We're so screwed. You know what? I'll take my chances with the spiders over in Australia.
I was just about to say, can you make room for me, please?
I'll take my chances.
You said the brown snakes move, don't they? You said they don't mess with us, because I can't run that way.
Yeah,
they tend to sort of they tend to stay away. But visit New Zealand. Like, if you're going to visit one of these countries, go to New Zealand. New Zealand has no snakes.
So
it has no really deadly creatures. Maybe has one spider that's a little bit bad, but
Black willow.
That's if you come across one.
And it's beautiful. Yeah, I'm in. So let me. I lied. I got one more question. I lied. All right. So we'll get you out of here on this last question.
All good.
When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want when people think about Matthew Ruys, when it's all said and done? What do you want your legacy to be?
Oh man,
got him.
I mean, I want people to know. I want people to think he was a good dude who championed other people. I want them to think he made good music as well. Obviously, I'm really this next record is really important to me. But really, I just want people to go, he was a good guy. He championed and developed a lot of acts. He was important to at the very least music in New Zealand and the journey of music in New Zealand. A good father, a good husband, all those sorts of things. I don't know. I hope that there are songs that people will hear and go, that people will still listen to 100 years from now.
Right.
Go, I feel that song and it still speaks to me. I'd like to think there are songs on the new record that are going to be like that. It covers a lot of subjects. You were talking about, what do we think when we look at America and stuff like that. So I've got a song on the new record. It's called Black Jesus. And
well, are you trying to rustle some
it's
feathers out there?
I mean, it is kind of directed at white evangelicals in America, who have, when you tell these white evangelicals that there was not one white person in the Bible, it freaks them out.
This is true.
But it's the truth, it is. And nothing kind of, I'm very passionate about, I'm passionately anti-racist.
Mm-hmm. This I know.
I've grown up around a lot of different ethnicities, and I've been, I can remember one of my first trips to Atlanta, Georgia, and I'd been there for a couple of weeks, and I'd met quite a few people and experienced a few things, and I was in this taxi one day, and my taxi driver was this black guy, and we're driving along, and he says, so he heard my voice, and he was like, so where are you from? And I said, from New Zealand, blah, blah, blah. And he said, so what do you think of Atlanta, Georgia? And I said, I love it. I've met some amazing people, but I've got to say, it's pretty racist. and he literally pulled over on the side of the road, and he turned back towards me, and he goes, thank you. I've never heard a white guy say that before. like that's it was like mind blowing to him that was my feeling, that was my thought. And I'm passionate about. I've had the blessing of being able to go to a lot of places around the world and meet a lot of people, indigenous people from different places, and I find so much richness in culture. I think it's one of the things, sadly, for a lot of Europeans, might I say, is that they're not in touch with culture the way a lot of other people are, and it's a real sad loss to them. So I draw on the richness of culture from all of the people around me, and I love it. I love the conversations. I love the history. I love the food. I love the language. It's beautiful to me, and I've always felt that way. My earliest memories, I've always kind of felt that way. So so maybe my legacy, hopefully, is that I could be someone who brings people together. That would be awesome. Well, listen, and I feel privileged to be talking to you guys.
Well, no, I was just going to say, listen, man, I am so excited and happy that we were able to connect here, because again, like I said, we've been friends on Facebook for a long time, and we're finally able to connect and talk to each other, and I'm so happy and grateful you able to, because this is his Friday morning. It's like noon or something like that, you know what I mean? So thank you, man, because I know you're busy. I appreciate it. And yeah, well, look, is there a release date for the album yet, or you still in the works?
No release date yet. I'm about 7 songs deep on it at the moment, and I've got the other songs worked out and stuff. So it's getting there, but I'll let you guys know.
Absolutely.
When it's out. And you can have a listen to it when it releases, and if you like it, we can talk about it. If you don't like it, maybe we won't talk about it.
Because I need to hear that Black Jesus song. I need to hear that. Now you said I need to hear that Black Jesus song. I gotta hear that.
The Black Jesus song has kind of got like a D'Angelo meets Cameo meets Jimi Hendrix sort of vibe to it.
Sheesh.
It's a bit crazy.
Okay, all right. Listen, man. Listen, brother. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for coming through, man. And listen, let's do it again, man. Whenever when either the album comes up or not even when then, let's just do it again sometime down the road, man. I really appreciate you.
Sounds good, man.
Hey, thank you, man. Have a good night. All right, or good day, I should
say.
All
right, much love.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right.
Yo, that was dope, man. That was dope. I loved it. That was dope.
The fact that he dropped all those names, that like you were that close
Yeah.
Working with those people and
from Auckland, New Zealand to
you sitting there having lunch at TLC walking. Like, bro, come on, man.
He
like,
went,
really
he went to Black Mecca. He went to Atlanta. he was with the brothers. Thank you, Matthew, man. Appreciate that, man. That's a dope interview, man. That was dope. Well, it's 10:14. We might as well just keep it on. Ain't no need to take no breaks. We did a breakless show today.
I need a break.
Need a break? All right, we'll take a quick one. Take a quick one. Take a quick break. We'll come back and then we'll finish it up with something. We don't even know. Oh, well, Lil Bruh and them got beat by the Celtics. We might talk about that. Who knows what we'll talk about. Take a quick break and we'll come back and we'll finish it up. Thank you to Mike Source. Thank you to Matthew Ruys, man. Appreciate y'all. Real Spill, Kevin Hanley, Phil Rucker, Tim on the boards. We're back. Hey, yo, welcome back to the show. Real Spill, Red Line Radio, Kevin Hanley, Phil Rucker, Tim on the boards. We just had 2 dope interviews on this show, man. This is one of them ones. It's one of them ones. Shout out to Mike Source. Shout out to Matthew Ruys. That man, I want to ask him, is there anybody you don't know? Like,
right, like, wait a
who
minute.
don't you know?
Can you give us the hookup, please?
What's happening? How can we get to the end?
Can we get to the end?
But
Can I get to the end?
Hey man, I've seen, he doing He's doing well for himself. I'm talking about Matthew. He's doing well for himself. I've seen some of his posts. He's doing well.
I'm sure he is.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Yeah.
And I
He
want
had
to
on the air. He had the AirPod, the AirPod Maxes, whatever they call.
He messaged me, you know, right before he came on. He's like, "Well, I hope my my MacBook Pro and my headphones." I'm like, "You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. You'll be good. I don't think you got to worry about that." All right, man. So, hey, look, little brother them took it on the chin. Boston Celtics won a championship. Listen, I didn't think it would be that easy for Boston. Like, I thought Dallas would get more of a fight. It was easy.
Too easy.
It was way easy.
It was way too easy.
But we talked about it last week though. Dallas had an easy walk through the Western Conference. And Boston was like, yeah, this ain't that. We ain't them. We ain't them. You gonna get this work. Jason Tatum. Well, he was the Finals MVP, wasn't he? Finals MVP.
No, Jaylen Brown was.
Oh, that's right, Jaylen Brown.
They gave it to Jaylen. Jaylen overall probably had the better series. I know Jason, you know, Jason hit him he led the team with the points, the rebounds, and assists in the whole finals. But it feels like Brown had a bigger impact on the series.
Facts.
It felt like he was more consistent. He took on the notion of guarding Luka. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I still don't get me wrong, I like Tatum. It's just something about him, and it just I don't know. He's not in that superstar, that super duper star realm for me. That generational talent.
Yeah, I mean he's like really good, but like he's not.
Is he great, or is he the sum? Is he the sum of the fact that he has always had a squad around him?
Yeah,
so.
Great. I don't know if I'd say great just yet. He's really good though.
So whatever. I don't like Boston. You won another championship. Congratulations. Yeah. What is this, like the 15th in whatever, however many odd years it's been? That's why I was laughing. I was laughing when I saw a post and they were having reactions and people were crying and everything. Everybody was like, well, what are y'all crying for? What are you happy about? Like you just won one, like what, 2 years ago or something?
2020. 2020 won it?
20. Matter of fact, it was
2020.
Was it 20?
It's recent.
Talking about Boston?
Yeah, the city of Boston.
Oh, the city of Boston. Okay.
Yeah. The Bruins just won the Stanley Cup. The Red Sox have been to the World Series plenty of times. Let's not forget about Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like spare us. Ain't nobody.
We live here. We live in Cleveland. It's like, man, spare us. So we ain't trying to.
Ain't nobody worried about you. Y'all had multiple championships. That's what I tell you. Know what? And we, because we get ready to go off the cuff and everybody. But that's what I told everybody. I told them on there. Me and my brother, we've had that debate because my brother's a Cubs fan, and I'm just like, okay, you. He was like, you don't know what suffering is. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm from Cleveland.
We know all about it.
You have no idea what suffering is. You might be a Cubs fan, but sir, you from Chicago. You got 6. You had 3 from the Blackhawks. And you got the Sky.
Sure did.
And not only that,
you had the White Sox.
And you got the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, sir, we've won.
To be fair, the Bears have been trash.
Yeah, but sir, we've won one since '64.
Yes,
one.
Guardians, can we? Come on, Guardians. Like seriously, I mean, I ain't trying to put the cart ahead of the horse, but I mean they're playing some good baseball.
They are.
They're playing some good baseball.
Definitely are.
I did not think that this season would go the way it has. In Francona's first year being gone.
Oh no.
Right. Steven Vogt, whatever
I expected them to be, and then when Bieber's gone for the year and everything, I was like, oh, this is it. That might as well just be, you know what I mean?
We're still going, man.
Did not expect this whatsoever.
Can we go ahead and just stop playing? Give Stephen Kwan that extension now? Can we go ahead and do that, or we just?
Nah, you know that ain't gonna happen.
Dollars, can we make it happen? Can we go ahead and give Stephen Kwan that extension?
That man is not open. I think they're not I hope they sell the team. I really do.
To Gilbert?
I don't care who they sell it to. Somebody that's at least competent. The city, the fans of this city deserve some owners that actually care about their baseball team. I can't no, because
it's not like they haven't been competitive though. They've been competitive.
Yeah, but it's just the nonchalantness about the way the Dolans, you know what I mean?
They lost a lot of people in the city when they came out and said, if you come to the games, we'll spend money. That's when money
and then you know what I'm saying? Like your PR has been off, and then you go, you know, when Frankie, you know what I'm saying, when his contract is up, Paul Dolan comes out first thing in spring training. Well, you might as well enjoy him while he's here. And I was just like what? What
are you talking about?
Say stuff like that, especially not in this city. Like, come on, man. And the fact that you know, I love J Ram, I really do. I think he is a phenomenal player. The fact that he took that contract,
we got so lucky.
I have no idea how the MLBPA let him take that contract, because the Major League Baseball Players Association, they don't like when players take cuts.
We got real lucky with that.
So I don't know how they let him take that contract, because that man should at least be making $300 million.
At least, like, because Frankie, and I ain't mad at Frankie. Was like, look,
Frankie was like, look,
I get paid, bro.
I got to get paid.
I'm trying to get paid out here.
I'm trying to get paid.
He's worth it, and I'm trying to get paid. Now Jose said, listen, I like it here. I want to stay here.
Cleveland. He likes
cool. We ain't mad at that, but listen,
damn, you left a lot of money on the table, bro.
He's the exception, not the rule. Right? That's not happening really in pro sports. Like, we're not leaving. You know, these guys aren't leaving money. We hated Jim Thome. Well, not we. I didn't. People hated Jim Thome when he left. It's like, well, you want that man leave 20 odd something million dollars on the table?
No, I'm not about to do that.
And this was 2002 or 3 to $20 million.
So you know what, you know what I mean? So,
like, come on, man, you can't expect these dudes to leave that kind of money on the table.
I feel like if I keep wanting to say the Indians and
I say it.
The Guardians, I feel like if they had the correct ownership, that they would have a championship and be championship contenders, because they have the front office for it. The front office is phenomenal. The front office keeps this thing going.
Yeah.
If they could just, you know,
find the capital.
And I'm not saying, you know, you got to spend like the Yankees or the Dodgers. You see how that's working out right now. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to spend that much money. But if you add the pieces that you need, like 2016, 2017, that was your incentive right there.
Yeah.
Right there. You should have went all in or those 2 years, and I promise you probably would have got that title. But no, instead of doing that, they started scaling back. And I was like, what do you mean? You right more. There. You were one game away from winning the World Series. And instead of increasing payroll, you decrease pay.
Fuck that rain delay, man. Fuck that rain delay. Fuck y'all for stopping that game, man. Seriously.
That was dumb, because we were down there. Kev, it sprinkled. There was no rain.
Y'all for stopping
there was no
game,
rain.
Man.
There was no rain. It sprinkled. There was a sprinkling of
whoever made the decision to stop that game, fuck you. Whoever made that decision.
It was baseball. It was Major League Baseball.
Damn it.
They wanted to go.
Oh, speaking of Boston, we started talking about Boston titles. The Red Sox have 9 titles. The Celtics have 18 now. The Bruins have 6. The Patriots have 6. So
yeah.
The most recent was, well, I mean, this year, the Celtics 2024, but then you had the Patriots just won it in 2018. The Red Sox just won it in 2018. The Bruins just won it in 2011. So, see, spare us, Boston. We ain't trying to hear all that.
I'm not trying to hear none of that y'all trying to say.
Gosh, I wonder what that's like when your team, like every couple of years, your team is winning the championship.
Yeah, there's a whole, like, the old time Boston fans, they were the ones that were suffering, but there's a whole generation of Boston fans now that were born that expect to win a title every single year, because it's happened for them. They're just like, what do you mean we're not going to win a title?
Now the Red Sox did have that luck. The Red Sox went from 1918 to 2004. That's a long time.
Shout out to Pedro.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to, we could have had Pedro on the trade too. We could have had Pedro, but no. Y'all wanted to hold on to who was that pitcher? Who was the pitcher? Jared. No, Jared.
Was it Jared Wright?
Jared Wright.
Talking about us. Oh.
The Indians, yeah.
Yeah,
back when the Indians.
I know, but see, I still know the history of even though I'm a Yankees fan.
Y'all wanted to hold on to
Yankees fan.
Jared Wright, and we could have had Pedro Martinez.
I'm a Red Sox
Let's
fan.
go Yankees.
That team.
Wait, you are what?
Red Sox fan.
Sorry, I need you to leave.
Yikes,
You can get out of here.
Gee, what's wrong with y'all,
I'm a-
man? What is wrong
I'm a
with y'all?
Guardians fan, Indians fan, but
Son, we not doing that. We not
do
doing
the
that.
Red
I'm a
Sox
Guardians.
around
No,
here.
we're not doing that. I'm a
Yeah,
Guardians fan.
yeah.
and
Kev
Red
doesn't.
Sox fan.
Kev doesn't do the
We
second
don't
team.
do second teams. No,
Kev
sir.
doesn't do the secondary team.
I have no. I
that's
have
you.
one. I have one team. We don't do second teams.
I'm a players guy, and I became a Red Sox fan when Manny left.
Oh, so you follow Manny? So okay, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Those Red, hey, look, let me tell you something. Them Red Sox teams, those were fun. Those were fun times. That's when I really fell in love with baseball. Those Red Sox Yankees back in the early 2000s, the 01, the 02, the 03 series, and of course, I don't want to talk about 04, but I don't talk about that.
Man, in 07, when we was up 3-1 against the Red Sox.
Oh God! That was another blown opportunity. I keep telling people, I was like, there is so many opportunities that the Indians / Guardians should have won the World Series. 95, I don't say 95 because you ran up against Smoltz. What you gonna do with Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine?
They could have added Pedro Martinez.
They could have had Randy Johnson. There was a time when the Indians were in the mix when Randy left Seattle. And he went to Houston. There was rumors that he was supposed to come to Cleveland.
Not to mention every one of our aces that leave win a Cy Young like the next couple years.
Oh, you talking about those years? CC Sabathia, Cliff Lee.
Yeah.
Is it messed up that CC Sabathia goes into the Hall of Fame, but he has pinstripes on instead of a Cleveland hat? Like, I feel weird about that. Like, I'm just like, I know.
No, because he was good here, but he won
a championship in New York. Okay.
And honestly, seriously, you can go into the Hall of Fame as a Cleveland Indian or a New York Yankee.
Which one are you gonna choose? Yeah, I know.
It's like you can stay here and play in Cleveland, or you can go down to Miami, but you play with your boys in Miami. Like, what you gonna do, right? Like, come on.
I'm going down to the beach where all the half-naked chicks are.
I was just about to say hello. I'm gone
down to the beach, right? South
Beach. Yes,
so, taking my time to South Beach. It's like, what are you gonna do? So, all right, listen. This was a dope show, man. I honestly, I'm geeked to listen to the replay because this was a dope show. Thank you to Mike Source for coming through. Thank you to Matthew Ruys for coming through. Can't wait for that album. I gotta hear that Black Jesus song. So that's gonna do it for us, man. We're gonna get out of here. We'll be back next week. Might have some guests, might not. I don't know. We'll figure it out between now and next Thursday. Kevin Hanley, Phil Rucker, Tim on the boards as always running the ship. This is Red Line Radio, Real Spill. We out here. See y'all next week. Peace.